Hello my friends, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Erin, and today is Friday, which means it is Book Review Friday once again. I am very excited about today's book review. Today we are talking about Whisper Down the Lane by McLeod Chapman. I just realized that I'd been pronouncing his name wrong, so I am incredibly sorry. In my previous videos when I talk about this book, I do not pronounce his name correctly, so I think I just fixed the problem, so I think I'm saying it correctly now. But yeah, so I'm very sorry, but I do know how to pronounce his name now. If you guys watched my video where I talked about my most anticipated releases for 2021, you will know that Whisper Down the Lane was on my list. I was very excited to receive this book in my April Nightworms package. I knew I needed this book. I knew I needed this book. I told you guys in that video that I was very excited for this one. We're going to talk about the cover real quick. It's very simple, but I think it gets the job done. You know what I mean? I think this is exactly what the cover should be. It's simple, but it makes a statement. You got the kids all in a circle. You got your pentagram. They're outside. You know, they're outside like doing little chalk drawings, but you know, pentagrams right there. I think it's a great cover. Like I said, simple, but makes the statement that it needs to be made. I think it's good, and I like it. It caught my attention when I first saw it, so that's a good cover in my opinion. Okay, so we are going to do a synopsis really quick so I can give you guys a little bit of information on this book. Not too much, because I do not want to give anything away for this one, because I think it's something you guys just need to read for yourselves, but I will give you a quick synopsis and then we will move into my overall thoughts and opinions. This story is told in two different point of views. We have Sean's point of view, which takes place in 1983, and then we have Richard's point of view, which takes place in 2013. Richard is an art teacher. He's recently married and he's now a stepfather to a son. And one day, Richard finds a rabbit that has been brutally murdered on the school field. The murder looks to be ritualistic, and there's actually a birthday card stuffed inside the body of the rabbit. Sean is a 5-year-old boy who just moved to a new town with his mom for a fresh start. But this fresh start takes a very sudden turn when parents at the school start suspecting a teacher of inappropriate things. Then Sean tells a lie that will dissolve the country into chaos. Now, Richard will learn how damaging Sean's lie was and how it still holds consequences years later. Okay, that's gonna do it for the synopsis. I wanted to keep it pretty short and sweet. I didn't want to go too deep into the storyline, just because I think it could really mess with the reading experience, and I don't really want to do that to you guys, so I want to keep it as bare bones as possible and just allow you guys to check out the book for yourself and you know, experience it on your own. First off, this is actually based off of something that really did happen. It's called the McMartin preschool trial. I didn't have any knowledge on the McMartin trial. I ended up looking it up on Google. I just Googled it and read some articles about it after I finished the book, and it's very fascinating. I was very intrigued, and I highly recommend to check out the McMartin preschool trial and just do a little bit of research. It's very fascinating, and if you are interested in the satanic panic, which I'm assuming if you're going to read this book you do have some sort of fascination with it, so I would highly recommend looking into the McMartin preschool trial, just because you will notice similarities, and I just think it's a really fascinating topic to look into. So I highly recommend it. You know, it's interesting. So now that we're talking about this satanic panic, I have this weird fascination with the Satanic Panic, and I don't know if it's because I didn't live through it. I was born in 95, so I didn't face really any of those challenges. My parents never really talked about anything like that. I never really knew about it until I got older, especially when I started delving into the true crime world. That's when I started learning that this was actually a thing in the 80s, and yeah, I just didn't know about it. I think the lack of knowledge that I have about it is something that makes me really want to know more, and I'm sure that if you were born in the 80s or you lived through the Satanic Panic, I'm sure you have way more knowledge about it than me and like firsthand experience, which is very intriguing, and I'd love to know about it. But I think that's where my fascination stems from, is just that I really didn't know anything about it. I still don't know that much. I would love to keep learning about it, but yeah, I think it just stems from a lack of knowledge, so I want to keep learning about it because I don't have that firsthand experience or anything like that. I've talked to my mom about it. She remembers the Satanic Panic, but yeah, I don't know. There's something different about, I think, growing up there and having that firsthand experience that I don't have, and it makes me want to know more. There's also something about the Satanic Panic, and I don't know if I'm the only one that feels like this, but it just feels so unreal. It sounds like somebody made it up. Like, when you're just talking about it, you know, you're not researching or anything like that, but you're just talking about it out loud, it sounds so crazy. Like, it sounds not real. It just sounds fake to me, which is another reason probably why I'm fascinated by it, because it is real. It is a real thing that occurred, but it just sounds so absurd to be real, I guess. So yeah, I think that's another reason for my fascination, is it just sounds so absurd. I think this book did a really great job of encapsulating how people really did just run with the idea that something so benign was rooted in Satanism and evil. There are examples in the book like McDonald's, Lucky Charms, Smurfs, Cabbage Patch Dolls, and just reading people talking about those things as if they are these satanic evil beings is so funny, but also horrifying, because it really did happen, and it's just incredible to see how wild the idea of Satanism ran rampant in the 80s, how people really just jumped on the bandwagon, jumped to conclusions, and just kind of really, you know, went all gung-ho for, you know, getting rid of Smurfs and Lucky Charms and these really innocent seeming things, and it's just so interesting to read. I was kind of laughing when some of the things got brought up, like when some of the parents would talk about how Smurfs are satanic, and I'm over here like, Smurfs, the little blue things, satanic. Okay, alright. Like, it's just so funny to me. It was killing me. But it's also not funny because these people really did believe it. I think including these things just really showed how people were so fearful of these things having satanic ties, and they really had no proof. It was just hearsay and that little seed of doubt implanted in the minds of people that really just took off and went rampant. The fear of not believing these things were rooted in Satanism and then being correct was worse than believing that they were satanic and it not being true at all. I really liked both point of views. I found them both engaging and interesting in their own ways, but if I'm honest, I did prefer the Sean chapters just because I really liked watching everything unfold in the moment. I liked just seeing how it was unfolding, and especially from the viewpoint of a 5-year-old, it was very interesting to me. I really enjoyed the Sean chapters. I thought they were very well done. I liked the Richard chapters as well, and I also thought they were well done, but I just really liked the Sean ones because it was taking place while everything was happening. Sean is a very interesting character to me. Sean is a kid. He's 5 years old. He wants his mom to be happy, and he tells her this lie because he thinks that's what she wants to hear. And then he keeps repeating the lie to the police and to a therapist because they all keep telling him he's brave and that he's doing the correct thing. He's getting rewarded for telling them what they want to hear, and it's very hard to read. I think it's terrifying, honestly. It's a very scary thing, and I think the scariest part is because he's 5 and he's a child, he doesn't comprehend what he's done. He has no comprehension of anything that's going on. He thinks that he's playing a game and that he's doing what he's supposed to be doing because the adults are telling him he is, and he's getting positive reinforcement from telling the lie over and over again. And it's a very, I don't know, it's just like it's a weird to read, but I'm not saying in a bad way. It's a weird thing to try to comprehend, I guess. The book really, really frustrated me, and not in a bad way where I just wanted to put it down and stop reading. That's not what I'm saying. It more was frustrating because you as the reader understand that this shouldn't be happening, but it is, and you can't stop it. And seeing certain interactions like between Sean and the child therapist were, oh my god, it was so hard to read, so awful to read the interactions, horrible, horrific. Oh my god, they were making me roll my eyes, and I was flabbergasted because I just couldn't believe that this was happening. I just was so shocked. And as someone who has studied psychology, I have a degree in psychology, and it's just you just see all the bad things that are going on, and you're like, this is not correct. This is wrong. Why are you doing this? And you just have to suck it up and read because you're the reader and you have no control, and it's very hard. At least it was for me. I'm sure some people have different opinions, but I found it to be very hard to just sit there and watch it happen. You have no other choice but just to let it happen. I had very mixed emotions while reading this book because Sean is a child. Sean is 5. What he did is horrible. He did something so horrific, okay? The lie, it's bad, right? Like it's bad. I had a hard time identifying if I thought what Sean had done was able to justify the things that were happening in Richard's timeline. And that might not make sense if you haven't read the book because I'm being very vague. But if you read it, I think you'll understand. This book is going to make you think, and I enjoyed that. I do. I like when books push my thought process and try to make me think outside of the box sometimes. And this one I think did that very, very well. But it also is just, it's mixed up my head a little because, like I said, I don't know if what Sean did justifies the things that happen in Richard's timeline. I don't know if I can say that I agree with that. I don't know, you know, like I'm still processing, I think, and it's hard. It's hard because Sean is 5 and he really has no comprehension of what's going on, and the things that happen in Sean's timeline and the things that happen in Richard's timeline, it's, you know, it's not great. They both have the struggles and the bad things happening, and it's hard to know which side, I guess, you're on. Maybe I'm thinking way too hard about it. I'm not sure. You let me know in the comments down below if, you know, you let me know, okay? This book is definitely a different type of scary, a different type of horror. This is going to be more realistic, and I personally love that. I love realistic horror. That's something that truly terrifies me, something that I think can happen, and this did happen. This was happening in the 80s, and honestly, I think sometimes it could happen to this day, because I think there's still a lot of that satanic panic feeling amongst us today. I think people still, you know, I think the same things could happen today, and I think they do still happen today, and that's a very interesting thought and feeling, and it truly makes me terrified because these things are damaging. They ruin people's lives, you know? It's really horrific and really terrifying, and I think that's why this kind of horror is my favorite. It's because I can see it happening and I can see the tie-ins with real life, and that's what's scary to me. The ending was superb. I loved this ending. The book had me scared for a minute, okay? The book had me scared. We were getting close to the end and I was getting a little worried. I thought that this book was taking a direction that I wasn't too thrilled about, and I was gonna be a little upset, but then there was a twist, there was a plot twist, and I was very, 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 very happy with how this book turned out. I really liked the ending. It was, yeah, it was great. It was a good ending. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Overall, super, super, super happy with this book. I think if you were looking for something that deals with the satanic panic and you want something that's gonna make you think and give you a bit of, you know, like, it's gonna give you a lot of emotions and a lot of thoughts are gonna go through your head, and I think if that's something you want to read, this is a very, very, very good book to choose. I highly recommend this one. I am so glad that it was in my 2021 most anticipated releases, and I can say that it was just as good as I hoped it would be, which is very satisfying because it's not as fun when you have an anticipated release and it flops. So I'm very, very happy with this one. I can't wait to read more by McLeod Chapman. I really, really enjoyed this story. I really enjoyed his writing, and I look forward to reading so much more from him. So I'm looking, I'm gonna be watching, I'm gonna be keeping an eye out because I really love this one. And that's going to do it for my review on Whisper Down the Lane. I can't believe I finally got to read this book. It's just so, it's so fulfilling. It makes me feel fulfilled, you know? So I'm really, really pleased with that. Please let me know in the comments down below if you have read this book or if it is on your wish list. I would love to chat with you down below. Let me know if you liked it, if you hated it. I would love to know either way. I like to chat about books, and if we have different opinions, it's even more fun as long as we're all respectful about the opinions of others. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. It lets me know what kind of content you enjoy from me. That way I can keep providing you with that kind of content. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We can become friends, talk about books, movies, makeup, horror, all kinds of things. I do a lot on this channel, so hopefully there's something for everyone. And with that being said, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day and have an even more wonderful weekend. And I will see you guys on Monday with another video. Bye!